Hello, I'm Kyle from Team 5112, the Gondoliers, and I'm going to show you how to use Github Desktop to manage your robotics projects. So go to this site, desktop.github.com, and you'll click this if you're running Windows. They also have a Mac version if you run Mac OS. So once you download that, you can run the installer, install it, and once you open it up, you should have to log in. And once you log in, you should be brought to this screen. So, on this screen, you can click this plus, you can click add, and then you'll find your robot project. So, for example, I'm going to use the Gongolarium code. So, click OK. It might say that it is not a Git repository. You'll click create, you give it a name, and you click OK. And now you see it down over here. So what GitHub does is tracks your changes. So for example, if I go over here, you can see I have tons of changes in all these files. And that's because I've never synced it with the remote server, which is GitHub. First, I need to give it a summary right over here. So normally the first time you commit, you type in first commit, and you click commit to master. That's basically going to take all your changes and list them in a file. And then GitHub's going to know what changes you made and what the description is for those changes. You should now see it created the commit, and I can click sync. This is going to take what's on my computer and push it up to the server. And that means anybody else working on the project can access the same code that I have on my computer. So let's see. It takes a while sometimes. Alright, so now you can see that I have this little tiny dot right here that says first commit, and that contained everything I had just added. And if you go over here, it says there's no more changes. That's because I already committed all my changes and pushed them up to the server. Now, what happens if I go to that website now, GitHub? So, I'm going to go to github.com. And you see I have Gongolarium code right here. So now I can see all of the code right on this thing. Now what happens if I modify a file? So I'm just going to click this. So this is going to be like if I modified a file on somebody else's computer and then pushed up the changes, committed them. You can see that it does say commit right there too. And I created a readme. Now let's pretend that was on somebody else's computer and they sync this with GitHub now. But now I don't have that on my computer. So if you see right here, I don't have a readme file, but I can add one. So to do that, I go back to Github Desktop, I click on the project, and I click sync. Now this is going to ask GitHub servers if there's anything new that I don't have, and then if there is, it's going to take that for me. So once you see this done syncing, you should see another dot up here. And there it is. And you can see it titled create readme, and it gives me that readme file. And now I'm all up to date. I can go check that, and you should see here's the readme. So anytime you're working on a project, the first thing you should do is sync it. This is going to make sure you have the latest version of it. So if somebody else is working on it in your programming team and you're not working on it at the same time, then they commit their changes and publish them. Once you start working on it, you can sync their changes, and now you have access to whatever code that they used. And once you are finished, make sure you type a commit summary and sync it. So that's basically all there is to GitHub, and it should probably help you with your development. And on the side note, GitHub does make your code open source. So if your team's not comfortable with that, you might want to find a different solution. But that's basically it. So thanks.